There was something different in the air that morning in San Giovanni Rotondo. The streets were quiet, yet the silence carried a strange weight. An invisible presence, almost sacred, hovered above the town. The bells of the church chimed with more depth than usual, echoing through the stillness like a heartbeat from heaven. The scent of incense drifted from the chapel, mixing with the crisp spring air. It was as if the very atmosphere knew that something extraordinary was about to unfold, something spiritual, something eternal. In that early light, the few faithful who had gathered for prayer spoke in hushed tones. The flickering candles cast dancing shadows along the walls, and the rustling of rosary beads echoed gently, like a soft rain falling on a rooftop. No one said it out loud, but everyone felt it, an unseen current, a divine murmur flowing through their hearts. Decades ago, Padre Pio, a man deeply connected to heaven, had spoken to a few chosen souls about a vision so powerful and detailed that it left those who heard it with trembling hands and tearful eyes. He did not speak often of it. He carried it within like a sacred fire, revealing it only to those prepared to understand. And now, in the year 2025, the signs he once described were beginning to emerge, one by one. This was not about fear. It was not about punishment. This was about love, a divine invitation, a call to awaken from the illusions of the world and see with eyes of the soul. Padre Pio never sought to scare the faithful. His words were filled with compassion, warning, yes, but also filled with mercy, with a longing that each soul might choose the light before the shadows grew too thick. And yet, despite the signs, so many live unaware. The world turns faster every day, full of noise and distraction. But those with hearts open to divine can sense it, that gentle, insistent whisper from heaven. That morning, it was louder than ever. In the corners of the Vatican, in archives wrapped in silence and time, whispers were growing louder too. It is said that a small group of high-ranking clergy had recently accessed secret writings, messages from saints and mystics long gone. Some of these writings spoke of a time when the world would forget the truth, when darkness would disguise itself as progress, and when the hearts of many would grow cold. But they also spoke of hope, of a spiritual renewal so powerful that it would shake the very foundations of the earth, not through war or destruction, but through a divine light impossible to ignore. And that light, according to the vision Padre Pio received, would first appear when the world least expected it. You, dear viewer, are not here by accident. If your heart has been stirred by something you can't quite explain, if you felt a heaviness in the air or a strange sense of waiting in recent days, perhaps you too are being prepared. Perhaps your soul recognizes the signs, even before your mind does. In this video, we want to do something special, something from the heart. We want to send a personal blessing to those who walk with us in faith. So if you're watching this and you'd like to be part of the next video, leave a comment with your name and your city. Imagine your name spoken out loud in front of thousands of people. A minute of light, a moment of recognition. We want the world to hear your name, to feel your presence, and to know that you are walking in truth. Comment your name and city below. Leave a like on this video, and perhaps your moment will come next, your 1 minute of heavenly fame, your name shining in a chorus of faith. It's a small gesture, but it creates ripples of joy, connection, and community across the world. This is how we light the world together, not with noise, but with names, with presence, with love. Because what is coming is not just a revelation, it's a return of prayer, to peace, to purpose. And as the days pass, something else stirs beneath the surface, a deeper mystery, a message hidden not in the sky, but in a forgotten corner of the Vatican, a letter sealed for decades, now stirring to be revealed. Not far from the chapel where Padre Pio once prayed, there's a room that few have ever entered. It is quiet, thick with the scent of ancient books and the timeless weight of secrets. Inside, tucked away in a locked drawer, lies a letter, yellowed with age, its edges fragile, as if it had been waiting for the right moment to breathe again. Written in the trembling hand of a saint, it has remained unread by the world until now. That letter is said to have been penned in the final years of Padre Pio's life, a time when his earthly body grew weaker, but his spiritual vision only deepened. Those closest to him noticed something different in his gaze, a kind of distance, as if he were already seeing beyond the veil of this world. He would pause mid-prayer, eyes fixed on something invisible, his lips moving silently. When asked what he saw, he would often respond with a sad smile. "You'll understand in time." The contents of the letter remained sealed for decades, out of fear, out of reverence. But in early 2025, a small group of cardinals decided to open it. What they found inside left them speechless. It wasn't long before word began to spread, quietly, cautiously. The letter spoke of a time to come, when a great spiritual fog would descend upon the earth, a time when even the faithful would struggle to recognize truth from deception. Padre Pio wrote a subtle war, not fought with weapons, but with ideas and lies, a war for the soul of humanity. He warned of a growing silence, an emptiness in churches, a numbness in hearts. He saw a world chasing speed, progress, and technology, while forgetting the eternal. "The enemy," he wrote, "will not come with horns and fire. He will come with smiles and screens, offering comfort, convenience, and control." But the letter did not end in fear. It ended in fire, a fire of hope. For even in the darkest hour, Padre Pio saw a light rising, a remnant of believers who would not bow to confusion, a generation awakened by pain, purified by suffering and reborn in prayer, a great return to the sacred, to the silence of hearts open to heaven, and at the center of it all, a sign in the sky, so clear that no one could deny it. The letter did not give a precise date, but it repeated one phrase over and over. When winter retreats and the first flowers bloom, watch the heavens. April, always April. And now, in April 2025, strange things were beginning to happen. Astronomers reporting unusual auroras, skies glowing in colors never documented before, solar flares stronger than predicted, weather patterns shifting, and a general sense of unrest growing in hearts across the globe. But even more mysterious were the dreams. Thousands, maybe millions, had begun reporting similar visions, dreams of fire falling from the sky, of a voice calling them by name, of churches filled with light, and others cloaked in silence. People who had never heard of Padre Pio, never read a prophecy, waking up in tears, shaken to their core. What was happening? Some believe that the veil between heaven and earth is thinning, that the spiritual world is pressing closer, not to frighten, but to prepare, that we are not alone and never have been. And perhaps that is why this moment, this message, has found you. Because if you are reading this, watching this, feeling something stir within you, it is not coincidence. It is invitation. There's a reason this message has reached your heart, a reason it found you today, at this moment in your life. You were meant to know, meant to feel, meant to awaken. The story of the letter is not just about prophecy. It's about decision, about choosing the narrow path when the wide one feels easier, about remembering what the world has forgotten, that you are not just flesh and blood. You are spirit. You are light. You are part of something much greater. Padre Pio's letter is more than a warning. It is a call to return, to pray, to open your heart and prepare not for disaster, but for glory. And now, the question echoes, what is the sign that will appear in the sky? What exactly did Padre Pio see in that final vision? Why are the heavens shifting and why now? It began subtly, a whisper among scientists, a strange shift in the sky, photographs of auroras appearing in places they were never meant to reach, colors dancing above cities that had never seen them before, brilliant greens, haunting purples, and unfamiliar hues that defied explanation. In the quiet corners of the world, people stood beneath the night sky, eyes wide, unsure whether to feel awe or fear. In April 2025, the heavens were beginning to change. Some said it was simply solar storms. Others whispered of something deeper, a sign, a message, a celestial event long foretold by mystics and saints, hidden in visions, buried in forgotten texts, and now, finally, unfolding above us. Among the faithful, a passage from Padre Pio's writings began to circulate again. It spoke of a night when the sky would turn a color never seen by human eyes, when even the stars would appear to flicker as if shivering in anticipation. When the heavens shift and the silence grows loud, he wrote, know that the veil is thinning. At first, these words were dismissed, poetic, metaphorical, perhaps the ramblings of a dying man with one foot already in the next world. But now they felt different. Now they felt real. Reports poured in from all over the globe. Pilots describing light in the clouds with no source. Children waking up in the middle of the night, saying, "The sky is talking." Dogs howling at the moon. Electrical disturbances in places untouched by any storm. Lights flickering. Clocks resetting. But most of all, people feeling it. A pressure in the chest. A strange urgency in the soul. As if time were speeding up or running out. Those who had never prayed before found themselves lighting candles. Those who hadn't set foot in a church in years walked through its doors in silence. Not out of fear, out of a pull, a whisper, a sense that something greater was near. In small towns and big cities, groups began to gather and pray, not led by institutions, but by longing, a collective movement of the soul, a silent awakening. And yet, the media barely mentioned it. The world spun on, glued to news about markets, politics, celebrities. But behind it all, under the noise, a question had begun to rise. What is happening to the sky? And with that question came another. What did Padre Pio see that made him weep? According to those closest to him, in the last weeks of his life, Padre Pio described a vision unlike any other. He saw the earth wrapped in silence. The noise of the world had faded, and in its place, a light broke through the darkness, a blinding, golden brilliance that descended slowly, as if searching. As it moved, it revealed the hearts of people, not as they appear on the outside, but as they truly were. It was not a punishment, he said. It was a revelation. He described it as a moment of mercy before justice, a final opportunity to choose the light, to return, to surrender, to awaken. And he gave a warning, spoken in tears. The world will know when the moment arrives. It will not be subtle. The heavens will declare it. The hearts of the innocent will feel it first. Now, in April 2025, many believe that moment is approaching. The signs are multiplying, not just in the sky, but in the soul. The sudden dreams, the shared visions, the aching sense that something is near, something that cannot be explained by science, only understood by the Spirit. Could it be that the sky itself is preparing the way? Is it possible that all this, every flicker of light, every strange vibration in the air, is heaven calling out, "Wake up"? You, dear soul, are not being warned to fear. You are being invited to see, to open your heart to what is coming, not as a curse, but as a gift. The world is not ending, but something is. The illusion, the noise, the false security. And what will remain is truth. Truth, like a flame, will not burn you. It will light your way. And so we must ask, what exactly is this sign in the sky? What happens when every soul on earth is given a moment of absolute clarity? What happens when heaven speaks all at once? Long before telescopes captured strange lights in the sky, and long before the world turned its gaze upward in confusion, Padre Pio had already seen what was coming, but not through the stars, through the eyes of the Virgin. One night, while in deep contemplation, he described a vision that left even the most faithful of his companions in tears. The room around him was silent, dimly lit by the glow of a single candle. His breathing slowed. His hands trembled slightly as he raised them, as if greeting someone unseen. Then he whispered, "She is here." Padre Pio would later write down what he saw. The Blessed Virgin appeared before him. Not as the radiant Queen of Heaven he had seen many times in his moments of grace, but shrouded in sorrow. Her face was veiled in deep mourning, her heart encircled by thorns that pulsed with divine agony. Tears flowed down her cheeks like silent rivers of pain. But her voice was calm. "My children are forgetting who they are," she said. "They are losing themselves in noise, in shadows, in illusions. But the time is coming when they will see." She spoke of a coming revelation, a moment not of destruction, but of awakening. "There will be signs," she said, "in the sky, in the soul, and in the silence between." Padre Pio felt these words not just in his ears, but in the core of his being. They etched themselves into his spirit like sacred fire. He knew then this vision was not for him alone. It was a message for the world, for you, for me, for everyone who still carries a spark of light in the midst of confusion. And her final words echoed in his soul for years. Those who fall to their knees will rise with wings. That image, the veiled virgin with her heart in pain, has reappeared in the dreams of thousands across the world. Some have drawn her. Some have spoken her words in languages they never knew. Others simply wake in the night, clutching their hearts, whispering through tears. I saw her. It is not coincidence. It is not imagination. It is a call, a divine mother's plea. Return. In April 2025, that plea feels louder than ever, not through threats, but through whispers, not through fear, but through love. People from every continent are beginning to say the same thing. I feel something coming, and they are right. But what's coming is not fire from the sky. It's light from within, a moment where the soul will meet itself, where every mask will fall and only truth will remain. And in that moment, many will fall to their knees, not out of terror, but out of recognition, out of love, out of the aching beauty of finally seeing what was always there. Sparkles if this message has touched you, even in the quietest way. We invite you to do something very simple but very powerful. Type Amen in the comments, not because it's a ritual, not because it's tradition, but because it's a way of saying yes to this divine invitation, a way of whispering back to heaven, I am listening. I remember. I believe. Every amen is a light in the darkness. Every comment is a seed planted in faith. Seedling. Let's fill this space with hope, with unity, with a sound of hearts turning towards something greater. Let's remind each other that we are not alone, and that when heaven speaks, we are listening. Because the message of the Virgin was not just a warning. It was a promise that those who return will not be lost, that those who kneel will rise, that love always has the final word. And now, with the world beginning to stir, there is another whisper rising. What is the great separation that Padre Pio foresaw? What did he mean when he said, the wheat will no longer grow beside the weeds? There are moments in history that act like mirrors, moments when humanity is forced to look at itself, without filters, without distractions, without masks. Padre Pio spoke of one such moment. Not a war, not a plague, but a spiritual unveiling, a divine crossroads. He called it La Grande Separación, the Great Separation. This was not about nations. It was not about religion, race, or language. It was about hearts, about souls, about truth. In one of his most intimate writings, hidden away for decades and recently rediscovered, Padre Pio wrote, a day will come when every soul shall be placed upon a threshold. To the left, the illusion. To the right, the light. And no one will be able to remain in between. He described it not as punishment, but as a divine necessity. A moment when the confusion of the world would no longer be allowed to cloud the human spirit. When those who live by appearance would be seen for what they truly are, and those who lived in quiet faith, often overlooked and dismissed, would be recognized in full glory. It was a moment, he said, that would come suddenly and change everything. In April 2025, many now believe the separation has begun, not with trumpets or earthquakes, but with silence. A silence so deep it shakes the soul. A silence that comes in the middle of the night, when you can hear your heart asking questions you've tried to ignore. Who am I really? Am I walking in truth or hiding from it? Have I built my life on light or illusion? This is the separation. It is not forced. It is revealed. And every day, it grows clearer. We see it in how people react to the same signs. Some wake up, others fall deeper asleep. Some hearts open like flowers in spring, while others close tighter in fear. Some begin to pray, others begin to mock. This is not chance. This is a divide, and it is not to condemn. It is to invite, because even in this moment of separation, there is still time. A breath of mercy remains, a sliver of grace between now and what is coming. Padre Pio believed that many would cross over in that space, not by force, but by fire. The fire of truth, the fire of love, the fire that does not burn, but purifies. And what happens after? In one vision, Padre Pio described a world renewed, not by man's doing, but by heaven's touch. A world where the light would dwell openly among people, where children would dream of angels and the old would be filled with joy. He saw communities praying together in open fields, miracles happening without fanfare, and souls living without masks. But this world, he said, would only come after the separation, after the unveiling, after the choice. And the choice is now. You may feel it already. That soft pressure in your spirit, that quiet knowing. You are being asked not with force, but with love, where does your heart belong? This question does not come with judgment. It comes with longing. Heaven is not demanding, it is waiting. And maybe that's why you are here. Not by accident, but by design. Maybe this message reached you because your soul is ready, ready to rise, ready to return, ready to remember who you are. And as the signs in the sky continue and the winds of April carry a strange stillness, something else is coming, not darker, brighter, a moment unlike any other, a revelation that will pierce through every soul and show each person who they are, not as the world sees, but as heaven sees. The wind shifted, not in strength, but in spirit, across fields, across cities, across hearts. There was something stirring. It was as if the soul of the world had taken a deep breath and was now holding it, waiting for the moment, for the next sign, for the truth long promised. Padre Pio once wrote, "There will come a time when the veil will fall and humanity will see itself not as it pretends to be, but as it truly is. And that sight will either bring tears of joy or cries of sorrow. That time is now. April 2025 has become more than a month. It has become a threshold. Each passing day feels heavy with meaning. It's not just the events in the world or the headlines we read. It's what we feel, inexplicable, invisible, but undeniable. People everywhere speak of a silent urgency. Not panic, just the sense that they must do something, change something, prepare for something. But prepare for what? Padre Pio believed preparation was not about storing goods or hiding in fear. It was about the heart, about cleansing what the world had clouded, about returning to simplicity, to silence, to God. He described it beautifully. When the moment arrives, only the hearts that carry peace will stand in peace. Those who pray now will not tremble then. Prayer, he said, was not a ritual, but a light, a shield, a home. And the call to prayer is being felt everywhere, across the globe, in places that once echoed only with busyness and distraction. People are pausing, lighting candles, whispering the rosary, opening scripture for the first time in years, feeling drawn not by fear, but by a hunger, a thirst that the world cannot quench. This is a preparation, not for the end, but for a beginning, the beginning of a time when truth will no longer be hidden, when light will no longer be mocked, when those who chose love will become pillars for those who were lost. But the choice to prepare must be made now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. And sometimes the first step is small. Dear soul, if this message has touched you, if your heart has felt a gentle shake, a reminder, a whisper, a longing, then let this be your moment to respond. Sparkles, leave a like on this video, not just for us, but for yourself. Let it be your silent yes. Pushpin, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. This isn't just a place for content. It's a place for connection, a community of light, a spiritual family preparing together. Every like you leave, every subscription, helps us reach more hearts. It's more than support. It's part of the mission. Together, we are lifting the veil. Together, we are saying, we are not afraid. We are awake. We are ready. The time of preparation is a gift. It is heaven's mercy extended one more time. So many ignore it. So many sleep through it. But not you. You are here, and heaven sees that. And now, the question is no longer if something is coming. It's when. And when it does, what will it reveal in you? Because in the silence of night, as hearts tremble and stars flicker, something ancient is awakening. And in the next chapter, the vision reaches its climax. A voice calls out, not from the sky, but from within. And what it says will change everything. It didn't come with thunder. It didn't come with fire. The final sign came like a whisper, yet it echoed to the soul louder than any explosion ever could. It came not from the sky above, but from the sacred space within, and once heard, it could not be forgotten. Padre Pio called it La Voce Interior, the inner voice. He spoke of a moment that would come for all humanity, a moment where, in a single instant, every soul would hear the truth, not as taught by the world, but as seen by heaven, not in words, but in revelation, pure, direct, unfiltered. It would feel like time standing still. He described it as the light of Christ shining to the soul like a mirror, showing each person their true reflection, not to shame, not to punish, but to awaken. In his letters, he wrote, "There will be no hiding, no pretending. Every heart will know what it has embraced, and what it has rejected. Every soul will see what was created to be." And now, in the sacred stillness of April 2025, that moment feels closer than ever. Across the globe, people are reporting the same experience, a moment of overwhelming clarity, a rush of memories, decisions, forgotten prayers, a sudden knowing of truth, of purpose, of the weight of every choice. Some collapse in tears. Some raise their hands to the sky. Some whisper, "Forgive me," but all understand deep in their being that this voice is not from the earth. It is the voice of the one who made them, the voice of the King. And in that moment, the separation becomes final, not by decree, but by recognition. Those who choose the light walk into it. Those who resist fade into silence. But for those who hear that voice, for those who fall to their knees with open hearts, something miraculous happens. Chains break, darkness lifts, wounds heal, and the soul remembers who it truly is, a child of God called to shine. This is not the end. It is the beginning of the real story, one written not in ink, but in eternity. And now, dear soul, if this message has touched you, if something inside you is stirred, then do one simple thing from the heart. Folded hands comment, "Jesus is the King" below. Let the world know who you walk with. Let heaven hear your yes. Let your voice join with thousands of others rising in faith. When you comment, it's more than a phrase. It's a declaration. It's light. It's power. It's truth. Crown Jesus is the King, and he is calling his children back, one soul at a time. And if you feel that this is just the beginning for you, if you want to go deeper, see more, feel more, then don't stop here. Backhand index pointing right, click on the next video that's appearing on your screen right now. It holds a message that could open your heart even more. A revelation that was meant just for you. A continuation of this journey of light. Because the time has come. The sky has spoken. The veil has fallen. Now the choice is yours. Will you rise